Are you timing it too? Okay. We've all done it. Saved an assignment to the last minute or forget to study for an exam till the day before. These are just examples of the many ways we take sleep for granted and choose not to prioritize the most important thing that ensures functional brain growth and development. We all encounter sleep deprivation throughout our lives. Especially as college students, we all know too well the feeling of staying awake to study for an exam or test that we deem more important than that of resting and recuperating our brains and bodies. It is prevalent in our society and experienced by everyone in this room. Sleep deprivation has severe effects on adolescent brain development, and good sleep habits should be encouraged. The body itself may not require sleep to heal, but the brain absolutely needs sleep to function correctly and at its fullest capacity. In today's society, it is all too easy to sacrifice sleep to accommodate our overbooked schedules and the demanding aspects of life. This societal pressure promotes sleep deprivation, and with this, the overuse of caffeine disrupts the sleep schedule in an array of different ways. Many things are affected by lack of sleep. This can include a lack of focus or the inability to maintain attention to simple tasks. This can create an inability to make complex decisions, resulting in a variety of dangers that can potentially come of this. It decreases the ability to pace keep and retain attentiveness, and it also increases the likeliness of mistakes in work or daily tasks. It is shown that driving drowsy after being awake for 18 hours or more is just as dangerous as driving drunk. This is due to the brain beginning to shut down even before your eyes start to close. According to Stephen Baldridge from the Samaritan Medical Center, it has been shown that with medical professionals and law enforcement and even pilots, with lack of sleep, even the most trained individuals can make detrimental mistakes. The public health consequences of sleep loss, night work, and sleep disorders are far from benign. Some of the most devastating human and environmental health disasters have been partially attributed to sleep loss and night shift work-related performance failures, including the tragedy of the Exxon Valdez oil tanker. The Exxon Valdez oil spill occurred on March 4th, 1989, and it was considered the worst oil spill until the well-known and most devastating oil spill till today, the Deepwater Horizon. This man-made spill occurred because the captain of the Exxon Valdez, Joseph Hazelwood, had been drinking and had not obtained enough sleep the night before. He allowed an unlicensed third mate, to steer the ship, causing it to crash and spill oil in the Gulf. This lapse in judgment is only one of a variety of symptoms that one might feel when being deprived of sleep. Sleep deprivation causes many widespread deficits across many aspects of life, and with the inability to have full cognitive function, this tremendously affects a person's ability to make crucial and, in some cases, extremely important decisions.
Don't talk to me, I haven't had my morning coffee. A lot of us have been hearing this phrase lately because most of us depend on coffee now instead of sleep. When sleep deprivation is paired with caffeine, this can lead to more harm than good. Caffeine sensitivity increases with age, and according to studies, if your coffee sensitivity is very high yet you consume it regularly, this leads to poor quality of sleep and quantity of sleep. However, some people really do need coffee to function. So if you do need coffee and you're younger, make sure that you don't drink it regularly, because if you do drink it regularly, that will make your coffee sensitivity when you're older a lot worse. In addition to poor sleep quality, caffeine can also affect your sleep schedule. For me, when I have a lot of work to get done, I make a cup of coffee and I sit down and I work until I get everything that I need to get done. This usually happens around 3 a.m. However, when I finish and it's time to go to sleep, even though I'm really tired, I can't sleep because that caffeine kicks in. This leads into me being really groggy and tired the next morning, and so I have another cup of coffee and the cycle goes on. My next point is that how this leads into how long caffeine can stay in your body. And according to studies, coffee can last in your body depending on your age and weight. According to Caffeine Metabolism by Caffeine Informer, it takes about 45 minutes for coffee to be absorbed, and depending on a couple factors, it lasts from about 4 to 6 hours. If you're taking medication, this can make it last a lot less or a lot more, and if there's previous coffee in your system, this can elongate the effects of the caffeine in your body. If people need to drink coffee to function, they should try to drink it in hours that do not affect their sleep schedule. According to Dr. Pinola, the most effective time to drink coffee is between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. This is because this is when you have to get the most work done and when you have to be the most awake. So by the time these caffeine effects leave your body and it's time to sleep, you have a normal sleep schedule. In addition to having a regular sleep schedule, according to the Journal of Neurosciences from the University of Pennsylvania, sleep deprivation can result in irreversible loss of brain neurons. When you're going about your day, your brain cells go through a lot of damage, whether that be from radiation, from blue light, because all day we spend on our computers and our phones, or from daily function. And the only thing that can repair the damages caused to your brain neurons is sleep. So when people do not get enough sleep, they are not revitalizing their brain neurons and repairing them, and sometimes this leads to irreversible brain cell loss. In order to stop losing your brain cells, you need to have a scheduled time to repair all your brain cells. There was a study conducted by the University of Pennsylvania on mice because mice have a similar brain shape to the human brain. And these mice were put on schedules similar to the people working long shifts. They got 4 to 5 hours of sleep per day and were working constantly throughout the day. And the results were astounding. After 1 week, they lost 25% of their brain neurons in their stem cells, and these damages seem to be irreversible. And researchers at the University of Pennsylvania say that humans are very likely to undergo the same effects because we have very similar shaped brains.
We all felt the effects of sleep deprivation, but what is really the real effects that it's affecting our body? Sleep deprivation in adolescents' brain affect the immune system, such as our physical body, our memory, and our mood. From the article What to Know About Sleep Deprivation in 2018 by the Medical News Today, they said that when we lack sleep, our body is prohibiting ourselves to the production of cytokines, which is actually to fight infection. And because of that, people who have chronic disease and lack sleep, they aren't able to heal faster and they're likely to suffer the chronic illness even more. Not only that, we're also in higher risk in cardiovascular disease and body weight gain because when we're sleeping, our body is trying to heal and rebuild our blood pressure, our sugar level, and inflammation. And when we're lacking sleeping, especially when it's like throughout the years, it will increase our risk of getting cardiovascular disease. Not only that, it also increases the release of insulin, which actually relates to fat storage and also the risk of getting diabetes type 2. Not only that, when we're sleeping, sleep actually relates to the hormone leptin and ghrelin, which actually affects hunger and fullness. So when you're lacking sleep throughout the day, you'll feel hunger or you have like eating abnormalities throughout the day. Another article called Among Teens, Sleep Deprivation is an Epidemic in 2015 by Stanford. Sleep actually reinforces memory and learning. When we're sleeping, we're trying to filter the important memories and not the important memories. So then, we're trying to pick which memories should be in long term or should be in short term. Because of that, if we don't have sleep when studying, it doesn't convert that memory into a long term and won't be remembered the next day after we learn about it. So, sleep deprivation actually impairs the ability to think abstractly, remember, concentrate, and also solve problems. Because of that, there's actually a research saying that people who do good in academic performance, they actually go to bed early and sleep more. For example, you have 20 things to do tomorrow, but if you're lacking sleep, you can't manage your time, you can't plan the infrastructure, what you do next, what to do first. But if you're able to get enough sleep for tomorrow, then from those 20 things, you know which one to do first and then concentrate on what to do next. The same article also says that sleep deprivation promotes mood disorder, anxiety, depression, and even suicidal attempts. Because research shows that sleep promotes depression and suicidal to 15 to 24-year-olds. Suicidal attempt is actually the third leading cause of death. And Rebecca Burnett from the Suicide Prevention Lab in Stanford theorized that sleep disturbance may result in difficulty to regulate emotions and lower the threshold for suicidal behaviors. Because when we're not getting enough sleep, when we face problem, we don't know how to do, how to solve them, and we lower the threshold to actually survive those problems that we face in daily lives. Sleep disorder also lower teens' inhibitions. Therefore, when it's added with the underdeveloped frontal lobe of the teenage brain, it becomes a very bad combination. So, mood disorder and then sleep deprivation and impulsivity will be increased because of lack of sleep. And that is a dangerous situations for teenagers should be in. All of these effects are very negative and very impactful. Therefore, we should make strategies on how to avoid sleep deprivation.
Now that we understand sleep deprivation and the causes and effects it has on the human body, let me introduce you to the solutions on sleep deprivation. Time management and wellness is an important key factor in getting 8 hours of adequate sleep among individuals and of course college students. By time management, we're in order to not procrastinate on our homework and even tests. When we procrastinate on homework, we focus on doing the homework before the deadline is due, which is the next day. Same with testing. That, as we talked about, it doesn't really do anything to us. It actually doesn't enhance the memory in our brain since we are more tired and less focused in the morning. That the brain, in order to get a good amount of sleep, you need to be in order to have a good time management. That in order to do that, we must work on doing homework before the due dates. We have to focus on practice on testing beforehand. Managing time better only decreases stress but has a positive aspect on the mind, as Stanford Medicine stated by Ruthine Richard makes a claim that better sleep reduces anxiety and panic attacks. To get tips and advice for better sleep, Daisy Grewell brings up beneficial tips on how to get better sleep in an article, The Secret to Better Night Sleep, encouraging both adults and adolescents to limit or avoid nicotine, avoiding naps during the day, turn off electronics an hour or two before bedtime, exercising and practicing relaxation before bedtime, such as meditation and yoga. That Grewell develops a sense of purpose in life that may stimulate and convey benefits to better sleep. That even though changing your nutrition and habits and your lifestyle, it also means that maybe it's not working for you. It doesn't mean that you cannot get any sleep. That understanding that sleep disorder for he or she may come in different ways. That they have programs in order to help with sleep deprivation. Okay. Yeah. According to an article, Sleep Deprivation in the Workplace explains how cognitive behavior, CBT, is a non-pharmaceutical program that doesn't inhibit or the use of medication, like other medication that's over the counter or prescribed. As CBT programs are a method to modify each individual with their symptoms. Through these programs, you're enhanced through either seeing person through a therapy-based service where you're talking to someone one-on-one and during these programs. They also have online programs where each individual has a specific game or a specific login that they have to do every day in order to increase sleep time. That in a CBT in a randomized control study has shown to have highly effective results in reducing the time to fall asleep and to stay asleep during the day. That although there are different techniques to overcome sleep deprivation, it's important to understand the many different sleep deprivation techniques and tips to use. That sleep is an important function in our daily lives. That it is not only benefits on a short term, but also a long-term basis.
Sleep debt is a common issue that severely affects the human body. We have to remember to manage our time to get adequate sleep. Sleep deprivation can cause effects that there should be an encouragement to promote healthy sleep debt, and that's your responsibility to do. Promote yourself and encourage yourself to get enough sleep to be better. Make sure to prioritize your sleep to revitalize your brain and your body in order to perform to your best ability. So invest in your sleep now so that it can pay off tomorrow.